The basic principle in setting up your Moodle gradebook is that it should match your course outline. So here in my course outline, here's the evaluation component. I got some quizzes, they're worth 15%. I got some assignments worth 12%. I got a special topic presentation worth 20%. What else have I got? Oh, some kind of, this is my fancy term for participation, contribution to the learning environment. And then a final project. So let's go look in Moodle and see if we can make this work. Now, when I've put in quizzes or assignments, like there's a quiz, there's an assignment into my course, they automatically get a column, an item in the gradebook. So I just have to add the things that aren't quite there and then structure it. So in the administration block, I hit Gradebook Setup. Let's see what we got. So these are all the things I built in my course. My final project assignment, some quizzes, some assignments where you contribute questions. So I need to group those together. Now, what was my first thing in Word? It said something about quizzes. 3 quizzes, equally weighted, worth 15% of the course grade. So I'm going to create a category. I already got the 3 quizzes in here. I could do them as 5% each, but I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do a category called quizzes. Okay, I don't care about the rest of that. Thank you. Now I'm going to select my quizzes. There's one, there's another, and I'm going to move those to the category I just made called quizzes. And altogether, my quizzes are worth 15%. So I could say 5 and 5 and 5, or I could just say 1 and 1 and 1. It's a ratio that each of those quizzes makes up an equal amount. I'm going to do the 5 and 5 and 5 thing. Okay, I got to save somewhere. Yeah, save changes. Let's go look at the next thing. Assignments. 6 questions, each question 2% total. So I've got 3 assignments where I contribute questions to the question bag. That's called contribute questions. So let's call the category contribute questions. And save changes. And let's take our 3 contribute questions items. We're going to move that into the category called contribute questions. This works out really well because if I decide that I want to drop one or I add one, the category itself is still worth 12% of my course total, and they're just equally weighted. So I'm just going to make them all worth 1. If it's the weight of 0, then it doesn't count. Okay, save that. So I've got some quizzes worth 15%. I got some contribute questions worth 12%. Let's go back to my course outline and see what else is going on. Special topic presentation worth 20%. Let's do that. Where was my special topic presentation worth 20%? So I can mark it out of any number I like. I just make the weight of it 20% of the course total. Okay. Meanwhile, back in. Now, contribution to the learning environment. That's not an assignment. That's a manual grading item. So I'm going to create that grade item. I'm going to call it learning environment. And I'm going to mark it out of 10. Save changes. And I've now forgotten what I weighted it as. I weighted it at 20%. So learning environment is worth 20. Now, I don't like where it is. So I'm going to move it up here. I'm going to click on this little move up down arrow thing, and I'm going to put it right at the top. Okay, learning environment with 20%. Write your own sea monster. Let's go see what that was worth. That was worth 33%. So I put 33 in here, and I save changes. 20, 53, 60, 73, and 15 is 83, 88, and 12 is 100. That's always a good sign. Okay, other things I can do. Now, by default, I've left this all at what is called weighted mean. See this Basalt 03 Sandbox folder? That's the whole course. And I have some editing options in here. There's a different aggregation type called natural, which means if it's marked out of 20, it's worth 20. I don't generally do that. I leave it as weighted mean of grades. Under Show More, this is where you can drop the lowest grade in a group. Suppose that I've got 5 exams and you can have one freebie. I'm only going to mark the top 4. If in the exam group I drop the lowest one, then it's only going to count the 4 highest marks. Anything else that's critical in here? No, that looks pretty reasonable. So here's a category. Let's look at quizzes, and we'll look at the edit settings for the quizzes. Show more, exclude, category total. Oh, stay away from this locked thing, because that prevents updated grades from feeding into this category total. So show more. Oh yeah, I can hide things until a certain date. I generally ignore all that stuff.